going to Missouri with 10,000 head. But you ought to know what you're up against.
Welcome back to Review Lens. If you're a fan of Westerns, chances are you've heard of Red River, the 1948 classic that helped define Westerns. Directed by the legendary Howard Hawks and starring none other than John Wayne, this movie is often called one of the greatest cattle drive stories ever put to film. But it's not just about cowboys driving cattle across dusty trails. It's a deep, character-driven story with unforgettable drama, tension, and action. The story follows Tom Dunson, played by John Wayne, a tough, ambitious rancher determined to drive thousands of cattle along the Chisholm Trail. Now, Dunson isn't the kind of cowboy Wayne usually played. This isn't a heroic, larger-than-life good guy. Instead, Dunson is deeply flawed, stubborn, prideful, and at times downright cruel. He's the kind of character who believes the ends justify the means, no matter the cost. Early in the story, Dunson takes in an orphaned boy named Matt, who grows up to become his right-hand man, played by a young Montgomery Clift. Matt is everything Dunson isn't: thoughtful, compassionate, and willing to question authority. The clash between these two characters, essentially a battle between the old and the new ways of doing things, drives the entire film, and let me tell you, the tension is absolutely electric. John Wayne's performance in Red River is one of his best. Many people know him as the larger-than-life Hollywood cowboy, but this role showed a darker, more complex side of him. Dunson isn't a pure hero. He's obsessed with power and success, and that obsession pushes him to some ugly places. Wayne later said playing Dunson made him nervous because it was so different from his usual roles. But Howard Hawks pushed him to explore that darker side, and the result is one of the most layered characters Wayne ever brought to the screen. And then there's Montgomery Clift. This was his first big film role, and wow, what a debut. Clift's acting style was completely different from what audiences in the 1940s were used to. He was one of the early adopters of method acting, which was all about finding a character's emotional truth. The contrast between Clift's style and Wayne's old-school Hollywood persona is striking and adds to the story's tension. There's real friction between Dunson and Matt, and it's one of the most compelling father-son conflicts in movie history. Fun fact, Clift and Wayne didn't get along much off-camera either. While there was mutual respect, their personalities clashed in the same way their characters did on screen. Kind of poetic, don't you think? Now let's talk about the visuals. Red River is stunning. The cinematography by Russell Harlan captures the vastness of the American frontier in ways that few westerns do. The landscapes feel alive, harsh, and intimidating, like they're just as much a challenge as the people or animals in the story. And speaking of animals, those cattle drive scenes are jaw-dropping. They weren't shot on sound stages or with clever editing. Nope, the production team used over 2,000 live cattle, herding them across real locations in Texas and Arizona. That brings incredible realism to the movie, but it also made filming a logistical nightmare. The most famous sequence in the movie is the cattle stampede, and it's every bit as intense as you'd hope. Howard Hawks wanted it to feel natural and chaotic, so he didn't rely on tricks or miniatures. He had the crew stage a real stampede. The cast and crew had to be extremely careful during filming because if something went wrong, people could have been seriously hurt. Thankfully, it all worked, and the scene has gone down as one of the most iconic moments in Western movie history. What really sets Red River apart, though, is its mix of human drama and historical context. While the movie loosely pulls from real cattle-driving history like the Chisholm Trail, its main focus is on themes of loyalty, ambition, and personal growth. It's not just about getting the cows from point A to point B. It's about what those challenges do to the people taking on the journey. Dunson's obsession with success tests everyone around him, but it also challenges his own humanity. Matt, on the other hand, represents a new way of thinking. a different kind of leader who earns respect through compassion rather than fear. Their eventual conflict feels inevitable from the first time they interact as adults, and by the time it all boils over, the stakes feel incredibly high. And then there's Walter Brennan, who steals every scene he's in. Brennan plays Groot, Dunstan's sidekick, and the film's comic relief. Brennan's dry humor and unforgettable drawl provide much-needed levity in a story that can get pretty intense. Fun fact, Brennan won 3 Oscars for his work in Hollywood, more than most leading men of the time, and his role in Red River reminds us why. Here's another piece of trivia. The movie's ending sparked a lot of debate. Without spoiling too much, let's just say it doesn't end in the explosive shootout most Western fans would expect. Instead, it pivots toward reconciliation, portraying a softer, more human resolution to the story's central conflict. Some fans found it disappointing, but others praised it as bold and refreshing. Either way, it's a choice that makes Red River stand out from its peers. One more bit of behind-the-scenes fun. Howard Hawks originally wanted Gary Cooper for the role of Matt, but Cooper turned it down, thinking he was too old to play Wayne's adopted son. Thank goodness for that, because Montgomery Clift's performance is an all-time classic. It's hard to picture anyone else in the role. Red River didn't just define the Western, it elevated it. It's more than an action movie. It's a story about people, their flaws, and their struggles. Whether you're a hardcore Western fan or just someone who loves great stories, this is one to put on your watch list. It's not just John Wayne at his best, it's Western filmmaking at its finest. So, that's it for Red River. Leave a comment and let's discuss it. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more reviews and deep dives into great movies. And as always, see you on the next one. Save us a balcony seat and extra butter on the popcorn.
You should have let him kill me, 'cause I'm gonna kill you. I'll catch up with you. I don't know when, but I'll catch up. Every time you turn around, expect to see me. There's one time you'll turn around and I'll be there.